Hi everyone, my name is Natalie and I'm the creative girl behind the blog and YouTube channel Nelly Design. Today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the Cricut Foil Kit. First, you need to know that there are two different kinds of foil kit. There's one for the Maker and the Explorer family, and one especially made for the Joy. To use these tools, you'll also need some foil transfer sheets. The idea behind this is to use this tool, this tip, to apply pressure on the foil sheet to transfer some foil onto your material. Now, the Explorer and Maker tool will come with 3 tips: the fine, the medium, and the bold tip. But the Joy tool will come only with a medium tip. Also, in the kit with both tools, you will also have 12 foil transfer sheet, so you can get started right away. But you can also buy more foil transfer sheet. They come in 4x6 in different colors, and you also have them in 12x12 in gold or silver. You will also find them in some of Cricut insert cards package. You'll need to look for foil transfer insert card written on the packaging. Then you'll have also some foil transfer sheet inside. This technique can be used with multiple materials. I will show you later how to know if it's material that can be used with foil, but let's just say that it goes from cardstock, watercolor, to even faux leather. And a little note on faux leather, stay till the end because I'm going to show you my trick on how to apply it to faux leather because it's a little bit trickier. What I strongly recommend is first you make a test before using the foil tip. I know we don't like to waste material, but wasting a bit of foil just to make a little test on the corner will save you a lot of material in the end. The foil tips and even the different foil tips don't react the same way with the cardstock, with different cardstock. Let's say regular cardstock, flat cardstock, textured cardstock, it will be different each and every time. So I strongly suggest you make a test. Also, what we're going to do right now is make some sample projects. So you'll know each and every time which tip you want to use for different materials, and also you'll have an idea of what it's going to look like on different type of cardstock. So here's what we're going to make. I always like to set it up on Design Space and really show you where we're going and build it next to it so you know exactly where we're going and what we're trying to achieve. So this is what we're trying to achieve, and this is the cute logo from the Cricut Adventure Summit. Then we're going to upload images, browse, and find it on your computer. I'm going to go back because I have it right here. And this is the logo that is made for single line design. So if I add it to Canva, you're going to see it's going to look weird at first. And I just want to show you. Design Space reads the closed shape as cut shapes. So everything that is a closed shape here, it will read it as a cut. Because of course, when you import an image, it is set to basic cut straight away. So you'll need to tell Design Space that you want it to foil. Foil, fine, medium, or bold. So we're going to choose one or the other. We're going to start by bold, and you're going to see that it's going to be transformed into a single line file, no problem. So of course, to use a foil tip, it is better to use single line files and single line fonts. I'm going to show you everything, how to find them. It is the same thing as engraving. It is the same thing for pen. When you're writing, just keep in mind that the pen, the engraving tool, and the foil tool will go over exactly where the blade would have passed if you're cutting something. So let me just scale that down a bit. I'm going to show you just a quick example. If I write a text and I just use this basic text, okay? And so you know that if you're cutting this, the blade will cut the letter, all the outline of the letter, and you will be standing with a letter in your hand when it's cut. So the foil tip will do the same thing. It will go exactly where the blade would have passed. So you're going to be left with, let me put the foil, you're going to be left with this. So this is totally normal. It will not fill the inside of the line. Same thing for pen. So you really need, if you want to have a look like I have here, you're going to need to be looking for a font that is a single line font or a writing font, as they call it in Cricut. If you go into the fonts, you can choose a Cricut font. By filter, you will go to writing, and then you'll have all the writing fonts available to you. If you're not a Cricut Access member, you'll still have some, maybe less. I can suggest one for you that I really like that is called Telegram. So this font is pretty fun, especially for people that are French, like I am, because you'll have all the accent available also. So you see, it really defaults to writing, but it came back to pen. So I have to go and tell Design Space to put again the foil. And then you can choose the color of your foil. So I'm going to be using gold, so by default it's gold, but you can really choose any color you want to match the foil that you have on hand. As for the image, if you're not using this one, I just want to show you, you can go to Images and again browse all images. What you want to be looking for are single line images. So in operation type, you're going to go for draw only. So draw only will show you single line images, and you'll see there are some pretty nice. You see, like this is not, you'll never be able to cut this because there are not closed shapes. So there's a lot of cards. But you see your star, there are images like this. So there's a lot you can choose. You can also search for, let's say, adventure. And you see, oh, we have this cute one. This would be really nice. Let me just add it to Canva to show you what it does. So you see, these are single line images, and I can really put foil and then have it drawn by the foil tip like that. Okay, so I'm gonna delete it. We're gonna construct what I have right here. So with my logo, and don't hesitate, I'm scaling it down to be using, for each test, I'm going to be using a 4x6 like this. So it might be a lot for you. I know I'm a thrifty girl. I don't like to spend my materials for nothing. It's not for nothing, but it's not for a project also. So I get it if you don't want to do this. You can at least, I strongly suggest you at least take one sheet to make your test, to make your sample. So if you want to take maybe a smaller design or just write text, at least use one 4x6 to test the 3 tips. You want to really test it to see the difference. You'll see there's a big difference. So now my rectangle I have here, I used a guide to make a 4x6 shape. So I'm going to click on rectangle. I'm going to unlock the lock and do 6, by a height of 4, enter, and then I switched it to guide. So this is just a guide to know what size to make. And now you see I can't select my design, so I need to right click and send it to back so that I can select this and put it right here. And then I simply took my text and wrote Cricut Adventure, bold tip, next to it. Then I align to left and scale it down a little bit like this. The important part for me is to really write that it's the bold tip that we're using. So, okay, so we're set. There's 2 things we can do. Either we keep this as a guide because we just want to put it on a big sheet of paper, let's say a letter size paper, and have them all stack one on top of the other. That will work if you're using the 12x12 foil sheet. If you want to do them separately, you can also make the rectangle, instead of having it as a guide, you can have it as cut. So this is what I'm going to do because I really want to show you how to foil and then cut with your Cricut. So I'm going to select this and put it to the basic cut. Now it looks weird, but that's totally fine. If you're like me and you don't like that color, take the time to change it to white maybe. Then I'm going to position this. I suggest that you don't put your design too close to the side of the 4x6 because the foil sheet is exactly 4x6 and you need some space to put the tape. I'm going to show you that later on. So I'm going to just scoot this a little bit, and then I'm going to select all, and we're going to attach everything. So then you can copy this and just select in the layer panel like this. Let me show you. You copy it. You come here, you select in the layer panel all the layers that you want to change, and you simply go here and change the foil to medium, and so on and so on. You don't even need to attach again because it's already attached, but don't try to select it on the Canva. It's going to select all the group and then you won't be able to change the foil tip. You really need to select in the layer panel. So I'm going to be using this orange cardstock with gold foil, and this is Cricut cardstock, so it has a little texture inside. I wanted to show you this, but I'm also going to show you the result of some tests I did on plain and flat regular cardstocks so that you see the difference. So I'm going to apply this to my mat. So in Design Space, I could have added the background of my file, of my design, and make it orange. I did make it white, but it doesn't really matter. The important thing is that the three of them are the same color so that they appear on the same mat. So I'm going to make sure this sticks properly because my mat has seen better days. So let's click on Make It. I want to show you what it does. And you'll see that, of course, you'll have two mats because it doesn't fit, but of course it does fit. So I'm gonna come here on the second mat. I'm gonna click on the three little dots and move object to the first mat, confirm. Then it's gonna go on the first mat. It usually goes on top, on the top left corner. So I'm then gonna need to just rotate it, and using the shift key, I'm sure it will be perpendicular, so I can really save as much foil and cardstock as I can. So you see all the steps are written here: fine foil, medium foil, bold foil, and basic cut. So this is the steps we're going to have to do and follow right in Design Space. So I'm going to click continue so you see it. It's going to connect to my maker. So to choose a material, you'll see that you have some that are grayed out. These are materials that you can't use with foil. So to know, you can just go and browse all materials. So you'll see everything that is compatible with the foil tip. So from chipboard, craft board, cutaway cards, fabric, faux leather, there it is. I will tell you all about it later. Watercolor and all of this. So if you're not sure, you can go right here in the materials to know what's compatible. I'm going to be choosing medium cardstock 80 pound because this is the Cricut cardstock. You see the little Cricut symbol here. It means that it's Cricut cardstocks, and this is what I have. And then you really need to follow the steps in Design Space. Everything is written there. If you take the time to read it, you won't make any mistake. So there's no tool required on a clamp A. Foil tool, transfer tool, fine tip, one line in clamp B. So I haven't shown you the tips yet because I was waiting for this moment. I usually store them right here. There's a little magnetic compartment right here, and the tips are magnetic, so they will fit there really, really nicely, and you won't lose them because I have dropped one of them on my floor and had a really hard time finding it. So please don't do it. So the fine tip has one line, the medium tip has two lines, and the bold tip has three lines. So I'm gonna search for the first one that has only one line. And the way to do it is just to push the plunger like this, remove this one. I'm gonna put it back in the magnetic compartment and just insert this. You don't even need to touch the plunger because it's magnetic. You're gonna see it's gonna go and click inside it. So I'm gonna be removing them from there because I'm gonna have to change it while the mat is loaded, and I can't open this compartment while the mat is loaded. This is not a good thing. So I'm gonna put them right here so I don't lose them. And I'm gonna do the same thing with my blade. I'm gonna put it right here and instead use this on the clamp B so it fits perfectly. Then it says tape the gold foil shiny side up. This is a really important part because it's transferring. So the color you see here is really the color that is going to be transferred on the cardstock. So to open this, you usually open it like this. This is the better way to do it. And I'm going to be using a gold one. So you need really to put it that way. You're going to see that the other side is kind of silvery. So this is not the side you're going to put it. It is really the shiny side, the beautiful side facing up. In this comes some stickers. The stickers are especially made for the foil. I really tell you to use this, especially if your stickers are touching the cardstock. This is really light stickers. They're not supposed to ruin your cardstock, so this is really the tape you should use with it. And there are plenty of it. I usually am a thrifty girl and I stick it back and usually use it a couple of times again and again. Now, you're going to see that when you try to apply the stickers, the static will make the foil come up. And the trick is really to try to have the foil as tense as possible. You don't want any folding lines in it. So this is my trick. You're going to be taking a ruler and we're going to put it at the top, just like that. So it's going to make the foil stay on the mat. We're going to take a sticker. So you see it's like perfectly flat. This is what you're looking for. Then I'm going to go on the other side. Now don't rub this on the foil because it's going to transfer. Of course, if you're using pressure like this, if you're using your nail or anything, it's going to transfer on the cardstock right away. That's not necessarily what we want. So we're ready. Then what it says to load the mat and press the load button. So that's what we're going to do. Make sure it doesn't say that especially, but I find that sometimes the roller will make some marks on the foil. So I like to put them really on the side, make sure it doesn't intervene with my design. So fine tip is done. And if you still read in Design Space, it will tell you everything to do. So it says not to unload the mat, so we're not touching anything. Remove the used gold foil. We're not removing it because we're using the same sheet, but let's say you do it with 4x6 sheets, you will need to remove one and put the other one where you want it. Then it says to load the foil transfer tool and the medium tip. That's a medium tip, so we're gonna come this out and take the medium that has 2 lines, remove this one and add this one. Then it says to tape the gold foil shiny side down. We already did that. So the only thing left is to press the go button. So it's going to prompt you to do the same thing for the bold tip. We're going to do the exact same steps, and then I'm going to show you what to do when it's time to cut. So we're ready to cut, and again, if you're not sure of the steps, just follow the prompt in Design Space. It really says, important, do not unload the mat again, and it says to remove the foil. So don't cut with the foil still there, you really need to remove it. And honestly, this is the best part because we want to look at what it looks like. And you can see that the foil bold tip did a little bit of tearing right here. It happens sometimes when the lines are close together. I'm hoping it will still look good. So let's not no unloading the mat, just removing this. And one thing I didn't tell you before, well, 2 things. First, I see the mark that made the star wheel on my foil. So important to really move the star wheel to the right. Secondly, you really don't want to have the foil sticking to your mat. This is a bad situation. That been there, done that. You'll see it will make a mess. The foil will transfer on your mat and it will stay there forever. The mat will still stick. Even if you wash it, it will stick, but the foil is really hard to come off when you wash your mat. So try to avoid this as much as possible. So like I said, I'm usually resticking my little stickers like that back on the backing so I can reuse them. If they are straight on the cardstock, try to remove them really gently and maybe not pull like I did like that, but really pull, let me show you, pull towards you really gently so that you don't peel the cardstock also. So let's see. I don't know if you see it, but it is beautiful. Even the part that was tearing up, still beautiful. I love them all. So as it says in Design Space, once the foil is removed, the only thing you need to do is, of course, change to your fine point blade and then push go. So on a final note, I just wanted to show you the different tests that I made. I used for all of them the gold foil, but you could have different results also using other colors. This is the Cricut cardstock that has a kind of a texture to it. All the foil tips worked perfectly. This is the white cardstock, the 60-pound cardstock that you can use on the printer. As you can see, the medium tip didn't do a really good job. I really like the fine tip on this one. And for the blue, it is also a flat cardstock, no texture to it. The 3 tips worked perfectly. And the color really does emphasize the gold. It really looks good on the dark blue. So there is so many possibilities and so many results that you can have depending on the cardstock you're using, the texture, the fiber in the cardstocks also. So really making a test is really important. I told you I was going to talk to you about faux leather. So I've tried faux leather. The thing with the foil is that it's kind of, if you rub it too hard, it can come off. And on faux leather, it will come off very easily. So that's the sad part. But I did find a trick to it. Before I go to my trick, I want to tell you, faux leather is not, it's like cardstock. It won't work on faux leather, every faux leather out there. You really need to make a test. I had not good results with leather that comes from the fabric store, but I did get good result with the Cricut faux leather. That being said, what I use to make it permanent is some spray to protect your shoes. You know, I'm Canadian. I live with snow and everything, so we have some shoe protector that we spray on our boots to protect them from winter temperature. So if you have that, you can use that. You can always test it also. And I had really a nice success with this. I made some luggage tags and I went on vacation with them and they never blurred out or anything. They stayed perfect. If you want to see this video, I'll link it right here and I'll see you later. Bye bye.